Oh! I've just realised something. Got foundation on there, Anna. Oh, Kaitlin, I was supposed to get dressed. Hello everyone, hope you are well. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's something that I've not done before. It's going to be a book review. I really enjoyed the book and wanted to do a video on it. So hence why I'm doing a YouTube video right now. I just want to say my sister is listening to music downstairs. So if you hear any music, I mean I'll probably put music over this, but just in case it seeps through, that's why. It's because she is listening to music. She's got it way up loud, so yeah, it's summer holidays, isn't it? The book that I will be reviewing is by another YouTuber. Her name is Grace Victory. She used to be called Ugly Face of Beauty. She's one of my favourite YouTubers of all time. Well, not over. Well, she's up there in terms of all time. Like, she's just so real and honest. She talks about taboo topics. So really, I am going to be a little bit biased. Sorry, my light wires. I nearly broke it. That's what happened. I just saw my wire moving and I was like, what? The paperback has just come out as well. I got the hardback for Christmas that's just gone. So obviously these don't come with the book. This is what I've put as little post-it notes of what I liked about the book. There isn't that much that I don't like. It is overall a good book. I'm going to try and keep it spoiler free. I'm not going to delve into too much detail. I'm just going to put like the basics, like a brief description. I'm not going to go, well, she said this, she said this, she said this. I'm just going to leave little hints. The only thing that I hate about hardbacks is this little cover. Like, the whole time that I was reading it, it was seeping up like that and it was doing my head in. So that's the front cover and that's the back. I don't know if it's the same on the paperback, but for the sake of this video, oh, I nearly lost my book. My book. For the sake of this video, I will just put it to the one side because I know it'll do my bloody head in if I just keep it on. These little speckles. Little speckle rats. This is foundation. I forgot about it and I am very sorry. I was meant to change it, but I just wanted to film the video. Everyone gets foundation on the collar sometimes, don't they? Can't believe I've done that. Can't believe I've done that. It's her telling, I hate saying the phrase life story, but it is. It's her saying how it all began, different chapters in her life that were of significant importance. So it's like she goes on about how she was with domestic violence and what have you, which I thought some people will relate to because, believe it or not, domestic violence is very common. And it's not the one thing that I liked about it. The one thing that I appreciated is she's put like seeking help for it. So you've got organisations here like Women's Aid, Refugee is the UK charity, and she's done that throughout like the chapters when she's talking about stuff that you need help for. One thing she talks about is insecurity of weight at a young age. Now I 100% relate to this. When I was reading it I was like, oh my god, that was me. She wrote a letter to her mum when she was 9 years old. She says that she thinks the main reason why she did it was to say thank you for the Christmas presents, but in it she says, dear mum, how are you? I'm okay. I hope by the summer I will have lost some weight. Thanks for the Christmas presents, I really like them. I'm glad I'm doing Joseph, which is, she's put in brackets, West End musical, Love and Grace. And she was saying how bad it was that a 9-year-old was talking about things like weight. I related to this so much because I remember a similar sort of age with my friend watching a Rihanna music video, and this is when I was really into dance. Like, I did a dance competition, never took off, and I can't dance for toffee now. I remember saying that I couldn't dance like that because I'm bigger than Rihanna, and I was like, what? similar age, 8, 9, even younger maybe, and I was saying that about myself already. One time I was looking through a clothes magazine, and you know Spanx, like the tummy tucker things, I saw that and I thought, oh, I need one of them. So, but I didn't get one of them, did I? So I improvised, bearing in mind I'm similar age, like 9 and what have you, and I went upstairs. I vividly remember this. Went upstairs, got one of my swimming costumes and put that underneath my clothes, and I just wore the swimming costume, like obviously with underwear on and what have you, thinking, oh, it'll tuck me in. Another thing that I noticed is she talks about her eating disorders. So one of them is bulimia and how she developed it, and she states, of course I knew about bulimia through conversations at stage school, but in her mind it wasn't anything to do with that. Yeah, I would be throwing up food, but I told myself I was fat and only skinny. Unwell looking people have eating disorders, right? So that is like one of the stigmas, because you automatically think of someone with eating disorders, because this is what the society has told us, that people with eating disorders, you can see the bones and what have you, but you can still have an eating disorder and be a size 24, 26. Size doesn't matter in terms of eating disorders. That's one of the biggest misconceptions and stigmas going in terms of eating disorders. I've never had one, but I know that because I've studied health and social. Another thing that I liked is at the end of that chapter where she talks about bulimia, I can't say it for some reason. She talks about long-term consequences of being bulimic and what can happen after you've stopped and what have you. And I thought this was interesting, because if someone was currently doing it, you know, and reading the book, or they were thinking of doing it, then this will like be a red flag. Reading this whole chapter, I think it would be so informative, because it'll make you realise, oh, hang on a minute, I might have that. I need to get it sorted. You know, like given the incentive, is that the word? Should I get it sorted? On the next chapter, which is chapter 3, she talks about something that she has done YouTube videos about. She's talked about it on YouTube. Is self-harm. Now, I've never talked about it on YouTube at all. I've been a bit scared to. I've always been meaning to, especially after my friend did a mental health video where she talks about like her experiences. So if you want to watch that, I will link it down below, and do the eye and subscribe to and what have you. I used to self-harm when I was in school. I'd say from the year like 2012 to 2013. It was, sometimes I'd do it like every single day, depending on like how bad the day was. But yeah, I went through like stages where I'd do it every single day, and then I'd do it like once a week, twice a week, and then it fluctuated between my moods and how I felt. I discovered Grace's YouTube channel because at the time I was talking to my friend Hayley, who, again, my two friends Hayley and Amy were my rocks during that time. Hayley recommended watching Grace like in 2012, I think. I was watching her videos, and if it wasn't for Grace, I wouldn't have made it that 1 year clean. If I can, I will show you the tweets, because I tweeted her saying I'm 1 year clean, and she replied to me. She did her own little tweet going saying, I'm so proud of da 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 da, and she even followed me, but I think at the time, because I was like a fan account, she got bored of my tweets and unfollowed me. Because all I talked about was 5 sauce back then and the wanted, whereas now I'm a bit different. I'm a bit grown up now. I will be 5 years clean later this year. I can't remember if it's November or October, but yeah, if it wasn't for that first year law, I don't know where it'd be. So she's put some of the alternatives. So it's like, one is flicking a hairband or elastic band on your arm, which can give you a slight stinging sensation that cutting will, but it's a safe way to inflict minimal pain. So I used to do this a lot because one of the people at school recommended it, and they also recommended getting a red marker, a red felt tip pen or a red pen, in case it was the sight of blood that satisfied you. I hate the word satisfied you, but you get what I mean. She does mention sexual assault. She goes into detail, but not like graphic detail where the ins and outs and all the emotions. I mean, what she wrote could still potentially, I hate this word because it's thrown about like, I don't know, it could still trigger some people, but it's like it's in the middle because she's not sugarcoated it, but she's not gone way into it to the point where it's unreadable. It's still disturbing to read, and don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say, oh yeah, it's like a stroll through the park, because it isn't, because at the end of the day, sexual assault and rape and stuff like that is disturbing. But at the end of the rape chapter and the sexual assault, she does put getting support for rape, and she talks about a suicide attempts, again not in graphic detail, but it will bring awareness to it, I think, if you're reading it. But at the end of the one where she talks about suicide, she puts different therapies in, describes the different therapies, so then people who might be seeking therapy can have a sort of insight into what works for them. But she just said that you have to find the different types of treatment that work for you, because not everyone works with counselling, not everyone likes to talk about stuff, some people like to talk in groups, everyone is different, which I thought that was good to mention, because everyone's different in life, everyone has different things. She also gives you useful numbers, so it's like this chapter has got the Samaritan's mind, and it's good to talk. I like that at every chapter, if she's talking about something there's a bit sensitive and some people may be going through, she leaves like advice and numbers and organisations at the end, which I thought that was quite nice, because some people may desperately need them. She also talks about a weight loss journey in this chapter 9. Obviously I've missed out some chapters, I've got to keep it short, or as short as possible. She just talks about how she lost weight and she became obsessed with calorie counting and felt guilty for eating stuff that it made her worse. In terms of losing weight, you have to be in the right frame of mind, and you have to do it for yourself. You don't always have to lose weight. And she talks about body positivity as well, and she says there's tips of being body confident, which I can apply at any size, because I know you get some people that do skinny shaming. Another thing that I liked is she talks about the difference between being mentally ill, like having mental health issues, and wallowing in self-pity. You do have to take time for yourself and what have you. You can have a couple of days, a day, 2 days, moping around, feeling sorry for yourself, but after that you've got to pick yourself back up, because otherwise you're never going to pick yourself back up. And I'm glad she includes this. Like, there's a saying here that a friend, Callie, said when Grace was feeling a bit and was wallowing in self-pity. She put, when I felt like this a few years ago, my friends told me to stop wallowing in self-pity, and I'm going to tell that to you right now. And Grace's reaction made me laugh, because she was like, say what? I stared at her taken aback. Does she really think that was helpful? And what a shit friend you are. Because you expect when you confess your problems that you're going to get a hug and you're going to go, it's alright, whereas sometimes you need that smack across the face. I mean metaphorically of course, but you do need that wake up call sometimes to get on with things, because life won't pause whilst you're feeling shit. She also mentions toxic friendships. I read this, and this helps because sometimes you can have a shit friend but you don't notice it. So I'm glad that she puts in clues to a toxic friendship. So if you're reading this and you're reading it and you have a friend that ticks every boxes, or at least one of them, then question your friendship. Because a toxic friend is no good. I've had a friend before that has fallen out with me because I didn't want to stay at her house because I was too anxious, and she went ballistic because I said no, I don't want to go, I'm too anxious, and she was like, you always say that. And it's like whereas Amy, I remember one time I was too anxious and she said, of course I'm a little bit gutted because I was excited, but if you're too anxious to come, you're too anxious to come. And now that's a good friend. Overall, it is a really good book, especially from a YouTuber. She's so real, and it's like when you read it, you can picture her. I had her voice in my head. I had Grace in my head when I was reading it. I highly recommend this. I hope you enjoyed this book review. So yeah, if you want a self-help book, if you want to read about mental health and other taboo topics, if you're that type of person, then Grace is your #1 book here that you should read, especially if you're going on holiday. It's one of my favourite books of all time in terms of biographies and non-fiction books, that's the word. And Grace, if you happen to watch this, thank you for being you. Thank you for being the realest YouTuber on here. You've helped me and many other people as well, because you are the internet big sister. I doubt Grace would ever watch this video, but who knows, she might do. I hope so, just because she needs to be told that she is appreciated. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and you shall see me in my next video. Goodbye.